Good morning, YouTube. Reseller Mom here. Welcome to today's video. Today I'm doing a video on dollar store bundles and just my take on them and what I do with them. Today is Tuesday the 28th, and this was a video request by Patty. So thank you, Patty, for reaching out to me. And I am happy to go into a little bit more detail on how I do my dollar store bundles. Obviously, I'm not going to give away all the products that I do from the dollar store in order, and I have had some issues with my current stuff too. So just keep in mind that dollar store does change their product up with some frequency, and so if they get a new supplier and the product's similar, you may find yourself purchasing online a bulk order of that product, and then you get it and you find out it's not quite what you had started out with. So that has happened to me recently for about 2 or 3 products in the last 6 months. And with the coronavirus going on over in China, there is a lot of shutdown and a lot of the manufacturers are being affected. So if you are doing dollar store stuff and you're sending it to like a prep center, or you have somebody packaging things up for you, please make sure that the listing and the item are an exact match. While it's very, very similar, it's just enough to get you customer complaints and returns and stuff. So let's dive right in. I have one item that I got yesterday when I was returning 4 cases of an incorrect product. I needed to find some things to kind of swap out because trying to get a return was taking very long, and there's just other things I can sell. So I wound up getting a couple of these just to test out. So I want to test this product out and see how it's doing. Now, when I'm in the Dollar Tree and or with the magazine, there's a few ways you can scan. One, you can scan the UPC code. That's, probably a good place to start, but I'll tell you right now that sometimes there are multiple listings that are not using that UPC code, and you're going to have to do a keyword search or an image search. So my favorite way to scan after UPC is image search. And on a product like this, you might be able to get an image search with that. It's kind of hit or miss. And I like to do more of the image searches on a magazine. So let's see here. So like if I just opened this up, I would do an image search on one of these things, because a lot of times the listings will use the images from dollartree.com, and I have not seen any issues with copyrights or problems with that. I'm fairly certain Dollar Tree is aware that people are using their images and taking Photoshop and putting things together to make bundles and stuff. So like if you had scanned these notebooks, these are pretty standard little notebooks you get for your kid at the beginning of school, and maybe a pack of pencils or something. So now you have a pack of binders and a pack of pencils, and maybe you wanted all certain colors or something. Maybe you are going for a particular football theme or a school color theme or whatnot, which is a bundle idea. You could then take the images from the Dollar Tree, add the image of the pencils, and then have that image. So we'll go into making bundles here in a minute. But my point is that if you don't get a hit off of the barcode, then try keyword search and try image search. I don't have a whole lot of luck with the word searches on non-branded items because they're just non-branded. So you don't know what the title is going to contain, and it may come up, it may not. But I think if I were to do a keyword search on just Shamrock kitchen towel, I would get a bunch of different listings. It's a pretty generic keyword search. So I would do more of an image search for this and see if I could get the Shamrocks to be recognized with the Amazon system. Okay, let's see here. So once I have found an item, even if I do a UPC search and found this, I would still want to double check and make sure that there's not a whole bunch of more listings that are just under a different UPC but are the same thing. What I find a lot of times with dollar store items is nobody really wants to buy one pack of towel from the dollar store and pay a whole bunch of money for it. You're not going to find $20 items at the dollar store. The price range on Amazon is going to be, we'll say, $3-4 at the lowest from people that are trying to clearance out their stuff, to maybe $8.99. $10 would be really reaching it. But what you do find is A lot of people have grouped things up in 2-packs, 3-packs, etc. that you can piggyback on. So you're not creating your own listing, you're piggybacking on already created listings that have maybe customer reviews and ranks so that your product sells. And you're piggybacking on those, and they have taken those dollar store items, grouped them up in a way so that the fee ratio to profit ratio is a little bit better, and it's the customer feels like they're getting a little bit something more. They're taking 2 towels, so now I could see somebody paying a little bit more for 2 towels versus 1 towel. And that goes with pretty much all of the products from the Dollar Tree. Let's see here, the best categories that I would start off with in the Dollar Tree to investigate would be to go scope out all the party supplies. And I'm not saying get into party supplies because that is a pretty well-used group, but if you want to see how people have bundled all their items up, go to a popular plate in the Dollar Tree and then look at that online and see how people have done all the bundlings. So you will see on the popular plates, I'll just say happy birthday plate for this video. You will see packs of maybe a plate and a napkin set, or maybe a couple plates, or a party set for 24 or 36. And people will take those, and then there's, before you know it, a whole bunch of different listings. So for one particular pattern at the Dollar Tree, there might be 20 different sets with different plate counts, different napkin counts, maybe a decoration thrown in, something special thrown in. You will see people try to put in a list on how to plan a party to make their bundle something that others won't jump in on and piggyback on. So you need to be aware of that. So let's see here. If I had this 2-pack of St. Patty towels and I wanted to make it kind of my own listing, I could maybe add a little game that said, fun drinking game for St. Patrick's Day, or a leprechaun game or whatnot, and print that out, put it in with my bundle, something that somebody cannot get at the Dollar Tree. So when other people are out there scanning at the Dollar Tree, they're going to see that. And yes, some people will still hijack your listing. I'll give you that. Some people will. It's not a foolproof way, but I myself, if I see that somebody has customized their bundling, I respect that. I'm not hurting for items to find at the Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree is not how you're going to build a really big, profitable company. It's great to have some moving items from there. So if I see that somebody has done that with their listing, I don't jump on those. And that's my personal preference. You guys can do what you want. There's certainly things in this business that are against the rules, and then there's certain things that are just ethically not nice to do, I will say. Okay, so you found this listing. For this one, I did scan the back, the UPC code, and I will show you what it looks like on Amazon. Let's see here. Maybe I can go like a so and a like a so. Okay, so up here, what I'm checking for is a few things. I obviously rank. I want to check customer reviews. It's got 3.5 stars, I think. My printer's not the greatest. And I want to make sure that this is the exact product. So it is. It's a St. Patrick's Day Shamrock Kitchen bathroom hand towel set of 2. And they did use the UPC code. So for this person, what they did was they made a listing. They went to dollartree.com. They pulled the image. All they did was copy that image and put it into 2 and save the new file. You can definitely Google that on how to do those images. I have had success with canva.com creating things like that. Oh boy, there was one with monkey in the name, and I can't there was Canva. That's Canva. Sometimes you can do it in just Microsoft Paint if you are, if you don't have software. I do have Photoshop, so my go-to would be Photoshop. Canva is a web-based where you could go and manipulate pictures on, so that would probably be my suggestion if you are wanting to do that. But, play around with it. It depends on whether you're on Mac or PC, of course, and what programs you already have. But taking one image from the Dollar Tree and making it into a 2-pack is a pretty basic bundle skill. Okay, so if I had wanted to make, take this and take it a step further, I could then add maybe, I don't know what goes with kitchen towels, maybe a kitchen utensil that has some sort of St. Patrick's Day theme, and then it becomes a kitchen set for St. Patrick's Day. You could add maybe some, I don't know, just something from the kitchen. It would be my go-to. You could also put a food type item in there. I don't really recommend that because food just expires and you're kind of crossing into a realm that's not very good. This is in the home category, so I would stay in the home category, the home and or kitchen category. So if you're in toys, looking at toys, I would stay in the toy category. The problem with listings that try to be in two different places, Amazon will eventually go and put them in the more regulated category. So if I had to add, we'll just say I added some nuts or something to this, and so you can go serve your guests some nuts and have some shamrock towels. We're making things up here, but those nuts are going to have an expiration date. So if I try to put it in the home category because I am gated for grocery and I can't sell grocery, somebody will call that listing out eventually. It may not be tomorrow, it may not be within 3 months, but eventually that listing will get recategorized to go into the grocery item section. And if you are gated for that, then you're going to have some problems. Now, will you get in trouble? Most likely not. But I wouldn't chance it. I mean, this is your account. You don't want to be practicing business practices that could get you in trouble with the hope that it doesn't. That's not a good method here, right? So I see this in a lot of things. One being toy items, St. Patrick's Day, not St. Patrick's Day, what do we got? Valentine's Day and Easter coming up. So a lot of times you'll see like Easter baskets for kids. Great idea, right? Or back to school. So with Easter baskets, it's common to put chocolates in Easter baskets. So that is one that I will see. And if I see a listing that has, maybe a basket and some toys and then some chocolates, and they have categorized it under toys or home, and that I know that chocolate is going to not be okay during the summertime, it's going to get hit for that, and it's not in grocery, so it doesn't have the expiration date tracking, I'm going to stay away from that listing. So the same goes as a seller as you would if you're looking for bundles to jump onto. Okay, so then I scanned this one. This little box thing means if you click on it, so on your Amazon seller homepage, and you click on that little box, let me get my pointer here. And I don't have my pointer. Of course, it's over at my desk. But if you click on this little box, it's going to tell you what packaging requirements are. And sometimes there's like a little a circle with a line. That means you can't sell it, so you need to find out why. Sometimes it's a hazardous product, or you're just gated in that brand or listing or whatnot. And then if it's a hazardous product, if you're not ungated in sending hazmat items, you want to stay away from that. And then there's certain hazmat items you can't really sell. So I stay away, just in a typical sense, things that have batteries, because there's a lot of regulations with batteries, and I don't know, it's not worth it to mess with that. So you may see we'll just say like a toy listing, and the toy needs batteries, and people have made a bundle out of it by having the toy with the battery. If it doesn't have those warnings on it and it's a pretty established listing, then it's gone through all of the regulations and stuff for the most part. I mean, it's never 100%, right? But in general, I stay away from things that have batteries and stuff on. Okay, so I click on that little box. For this one, it just says it needs a poly bag. Sometimes if you have glassware or something, it will say it needs to be bubble wrapped and boxed. You want to pay attention to that. You definitely want to follow those rules or you will get in trouble. I don't know what happens because I always follow the rules, but not good things. All right, so now I look at the price. $7.99. The fees are $4.39. So Amazon is taking quite a bit of fees. It's the base fees plus a percentage. And it's going to be high for these dollar store type of items. The gross proceeds are $3.60. Now this is costing me $2, so the profit is $1.60. You're getting back, I'm not going to even attempt math. I haven't had all my coffee, but not quite 100% ROI. What is that? It's going to be like 75%, which, is not horrible, right? It's pretty good for a dollar store item. This is a pretty easy bundle. And it's got, 151 in home is, again, not the greatest, but we are getting ready for St. Patrick's Day. So I feel that February and the beginning of March is going to be when this item kind of shines. We're getting ready to go into this. So all those play into how I look at a listing. If this was just after St. Patrick's Day, I probably wouldn't be jumping on this particular listing. But if you find things at a clearance type of price, that's good. I've been finding some 90% off Christmas stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I'll swoop that up because now it's not costing me very much. And Dollar Tree does do end of season some clearance stuff. I have found Easter stuff for 50 cents there before, things like that. Anyhow, back to my shamrock cows. Okay, so we've checked rank, we've checked reviews. On the reviews, if I see a whole bunch of half a stars, 1 stars, I may look at that, and that might be a warning flag for me to stay off of that listing. I do not ever find ranks being really great, and by really great, I'm going to talk about under 50,000 in rank. I do not find those at the Dollar Tree very much. Most of the ranking that I find is between, we'll say, 100,000 plus. And my cutoff for Dollar Tree items is going to be dependent on the category, time of year, how many sellers on it, etc. So for this one, we have 14 people on the listing. 14 people are selling this for $7.99. Now, if you checked on this one, you could then see if maybe there's some price wars. You will find that a lot on bundles and Dollar Tree items in general, that you get a couple sellers on there and then all of a sudden the repricers are fighting and it's a race to the bottom. So you want to be watching out for that too. With the Dollar Tree and bundles, my suggestion is to use them to test out markets, to see where you want to take your business, to get familiar with making bundles, doing bundles, getting on bundles, what to look for, what to avoid, and use them kind of as a stepping stone for bigger and better things. I would not recommend making a whole business plan around dollar store items. So for this one, I just got a couple of towels here. I'm going to test the market. I want to see how well St. Patrick's Day stuff does. That's something that I've been working on in my business, is seasonal items and what seasonal items are great, what seasonal items to stay away from. And I really haven't done anything with St. Patrick's Day, so I don't know that market. So this is a good way for me to spend, I think I bought 6 of them. So $6, test the market. I'm able to do this little bundle video for you guys as well. And, then I can see how fast to do those towels go. So it will be three sets of 6 towels for $6. Let me tell you, there's a lot of programs out there that will quote unquote teach you how to do things, but this is probably the cheapest and best way to do it. I learned by doing. So anyhow, we're going to get off my soap opera box there. So I've got these 2 bundles. Oop, let me zoom out here. Not 2 bundles, 2 towels. Okay, come on, camera. Work with me this morning. You can go through the Dollar Tree catalog. These are, you can order online. The great thing about Dollar Tree is you can order and have it delivered to the store closest to you or wherever you want, and go pick it up at the store. You can also put your reseller permit on file with them. It doesn't take very long. I think you had to email it or upload it. It took 1 or 2 days. So when you order, you can click that you're tax exempt and have your cases delivered right to the Dollar Tree. So this is really easy. In terms of getting into wholesale and bundles and stuff, and not that Dollar Tree bundles are not wholesale, but when you're doing wholesale and bundles, etc., this one's really easy. They don't come with a whole lot of stickers. You're not dealing with clearance stickers and sales stickers. It goes right to the Dollar Tree. I am friends with the manager there. I go in, I pick up my order, make sure it's right. I come home, I can package them up in a few minutes and make a few dollars off of Dollar Tree stuff every month. Okay, so you can go through and scan their catalogs, get this sent to your house, or you can scan them straight on your computer screen. I have done that. I have held my phone up to the computer screen, to the image, and gotten image recognition. So this is something that you can do in the evenings, especially if you work and you're just trying to get into the dollar or get into bundles and things like that, and scope out what other people do and what success they have had. You will see a lot of failed bundles with the Dollar Tree too. And I don't know if they're failed because people didn't want them, or they got bad customer reviews, or they just ran out of the product and nobody wanted to do that, which is going to eventually happen to this. So they have these towels now, and it's 2020. But next year they may change the design, so it's no longer this towel. So next year when people are scanning Dollar Tree items and they're looking for St. Patrick's Day towels, if these ones had been discontinued and let's say the listing sold out in May and now it's already again February, it hasn't sold in 9 months, the rank may be horrible. So keep that in mind too when you're looking and reading that. All right, these guys, really, really easy. I love kitchen towels in general to sell because they're light, they don't break. Customers are typically fine, they know what they're getting. It's a novelty item, so they don't have high expectations on this. If you were selling like a KitchenAid hand towel or something, my expectations would be a lot higher than a novelty one. This is how I do it. First up, I want to make sure the tag is not, the UPC is not going to be showing. So if you are just doing a single item in a bag and the UPC will be showing, then make it so that the UPC doesn't get shown. So I just fold mine up nicely like so. I have these poly bags that have the warning sign on them and they're stickable. So those are the ones that I prefer. I do have a link down below to my Amazon store for supplies that I use if you are looking for that. I do get a little bit of a kickback for it, so that's always nice when I'm doing these. Okay, so I'm going to go like so. Now I've got this. Okay, so then I would take my FBA label, we're pretending here, stick it on the front there, and I've got my set. Now, if it's a box, I definitely put these do not separate stickers on. If it's a pack like this, you could get away with not putting this as a set on there because it's polybagged together. If you have, let's say, two different types of items in there, let's say a spatula and a kitchen towel, then I would probably put the do not separate sticker on there. But you know what? I don't know what these stickers cost, but it's like a penny. So if you are even on the fence, go ahead and put that do not separate sticker on there. I would rather be overly cautious than to have inventory problems that are at the warehouse, at the Amazon warehouse that I cannot solve. Because once it's at the warehouse, it's really hard to fix your problems virtually. And they happen, and it's frustrating. Okay, some other things that I just wanted to note, and this is from my house. We just had these upstairs. If you have items that have this plastic screen on, sometimes that has a hard time with the image recognition. Sometimes not. And these are lemon heads, which is a pretty popular brand. And sometimes your image recognition will just do lemon head, and then you've got 50 listings for different lemon heads and not lemon head candy cane. So this one would be one that I would do a keyword search. I would do lemon head, candy cane, and maybe 6, maybe not. Because if I were going to bundle this up, I would do more than 6 in a pack. I would do maybe 12, so people would be getting a pack of 12, something like that. And then these would be polybagged. I would definitely put a do not separate on them. And let's see here, these probably have an expiration date somewhere in the box. So I would find out the expiration date and put that on there. Oh, yep, right at the bottom here, 7/14 of 22. The thing with expiration dates, you can put multiple different expiration dates in the same bundle. However, you need to use the expiration date that ends the soonest. And then Amazon Terms of Service says expiration dates need to be 36-point font. So keep that in mind as well. Okay, for health, beauty, food, grocery, etc. I find I do better with health items from the dollar store than I do with pretty much any other real item going on there. Okay, so back to this. Let's say you want to create a bundle. You want to give it a try. You're curious on how to do it. I'm going to tell you the steps. I can't really walk you through it today, but it's fairly easy. You're going to go create your listing, And on the Amazon page, you're going to want to be as descriptive as you can be so that there is no problem with the listing. If it says set of 2 up in the title, then you're going to want to make sure under features and details that you reiterate that it is a set of 2 towels. I have found problems before with the title saying one thing, the description saying another thing, because multiple people are fighting over the listing, and one is selling, maybe a set of 3 and one's selling a set of 2, or it's a 2 packs. I find that a lot, so people are confused if they get 2 or they get 4. Hold on. I need a drink really quick here. Apologies. So yeah, you want to make sure that the features match the title, and there's no problem whatsoever with that. Your picture. Your picture needs to be what the item is. Yes, you could put that colors may vary in the title. You could stamp colors may vary across the entire image, and if people don't get the color that the image says it is, you're still going to get returns, and they're still going to say, well, we were confused. It happens. So make sure that the image is what the customer is going to get. I cannot stress that enough. If there's any shenanigans going on with that, stay away from the listing and don't make your listings like that. Okay, so you're going to open up, you're going to create a listing. You're going to fill out all of the information, be as nice and descriptive as you can. I picked this one to show you guys because I thought it was pretty good. It's pretty basic up here, pretty basic down here. There's no Amazon sellers. It's only a new product. You've got 14 FBA sellers on there. So obviously somebody created this and then other people are going to jump on it. And that's fine. Be aware that if you create dollar store bundles, the chances of somebody jumping on there is pretty good. Okay, now images. We've talked about images a little bit. You want to take, well, ideally, the best advice would be to take your own photographs. If you are doing any sort of bundling, you need to take your own photographs. Some wholesalers have said you could use their images, etc. If that is the case, get that in writing. Get that in some sort of communication, because there has been people who used wholesale type of photos, and then somebody else claims that that's a copyright infringement because they're using that. And then you wind up arguing, and it's a freaking mess, and you don't want to do that. I was reading about that happened to somebody on the boards last week, and when I was at ASD, that was one of my questions to my vendors was, can I use your images, or do you have images available? Okay, so if at all possible, you do take the pictures yourself. It needs to be in a white background. Photo Fuse is my go-to for taking pictures and whiting out the background. It's kind of, probably the easiest free option you're going to have. And then I use Photoshop, and if you don't have Photoshop, I would then again refer you to Canva. But Photo Fuse, you can take a picture on a white background. I'd say my table is white, but it's no longer really white. So find the whitest background you can. Take your picture of the item and use Photo Fuse. Now, with Dollar Tree items, I have time and time again seen them just used from the Dollar Tree's website. So is that me saying go off and do that? No, that's me saying that I have seen bundles, many bundles, use Dollar Tree images, and you can do that. It's at your own risk. Okay, so once you get your images done, make sure they comply with Amazon's pixel quality, etc. And if you need to resize them, you can resize them. And you're going to have to look up some videos on how to do that. For the UPC, on this one, it just uses the UPC on the item itself. So that's pretty easy. If you don't have UPCs, then you need to go get UPCs. I have, in the very long past, had success with buying UPCs off of eBay. I do not know if that's still the case because I have not tried to do this in over a year. So I'm not going to recommend one way or the other. You're going to have to get some more up-to-date information on where to get a UPC or EIN number to use. And I know there's some more regulation around that, so you're going to have to do a quick Google search on that. For me, I just like to get on bundles that are tried and true, because with dollar store items, unless if I'm really, really getting into making a business off of dollar store items and I want to be comfortable with photographing and making listings and bundling, etc., and then advertising, because you don't have the recognition, you don't have the feedback, you're not going to have the rank on new bundles. So you're going to need to do a little bit of advertising of some sort. I just stick with already existing listings and just piggyback off of them. All right, I hope this has helped you out a little bit on when I'm talking about dollar store bundles. I've been meaning to kind of dive into a lengthy conversation. I hope I didn't bore you all too much with my dollar store bundle here of Shamrock towels, and maybe you are feeling a little bit more confident to go out and try it. I think you ought to be familiar with it so that if you do want to jump into other bundles, like I am now doing with some of my wholesale stuff, learning off of the Dollar Tree is going to be great opportunity for you that is fairly inexpensive. Go into the Dollar Tree, have a budget of like $10, buy a couple of things, see how it feels, see how getting on the listing, look for things that you want to stay away from and things you want to hone in on, etc. Try a couple items out, see how long the turnaround is and the competition and the price dropping and everything like that. Don't ever go in deep on anything from the dollar store that's not been tested out for sure. And take care, guys. I have got to get listing and shipping out today. So take care. Have a good one.